On screen, Amitabh Bachchan made history, creating a cult that remains unchallenged. Off screen too, he's equally brave and debonair. We continue our rendezvous into his private world, sharing the deep bonds and the humor, the desperate lows and the quiet joys of a close-knit family. Jaya, Shweta, Abhishek and Amitabh Bachchan.
Just let your thoughts, your dreams unfold. Let's talk of love, of tales untold. Speak so I can see your soul. Speak so I can see your soul.
Amit-ji, you grew up in a house where your father earned a monthly pay packet of 500 rupees. Their father is a crorepati. Apart from the differences, obvious differences in lifestyle, is their attitude to money different to yours?
It's pretty bad.
Your attitude to money is bad?
Yeah, because I don't know finance, I don't know money. The first movie that I did was for 5,000 rupees. I think that even today, money has been an issue because I'm not able to understand it and not able to manage it.
When there's so much around, how does one teach children the value for money?
Firstly, I think this is a fallacy that there's too much around.
No, not too much. But Amit-ji, compared, look.
Okay, yes, I'll say comparatively, we lead a good life. But by and large, we are a very conservative family. Travel, for example, for many, many years, they would travel economy. I think that we were, with a little push and shove, would have been able to put them in first class. But I think as children, it would have been wrong. And many a time, that's what they themselves told us.
We valued everything. I don't think we took anything lightly. See, as a child, you break a lot of things and all, but nothing was ever taken for granted.
If you broke something?
You hid it.
See, if you are used to seeing your parent go off to work early in the morning, come back home late at night, exhausted, then you realize that, you know, Mama would always tell us that Papa works really hard for all of this. And that's how you understand. If you ever go on a set, you'll know how hard people, actors have to work.
But he loved to spoil us.
Amit-ji, how different is Abhishek's relationship with you compared to the relationship you had with your father?
My father, because of his vocation and his standing, led a life which was full of turmoil, perhaps a great deal more than the turmoil that I have been through personally. And because he had left the entire upbringing to my mother, I think we were a little distant from him. But I think as I became independent, when I began to help out in supporting their lives as well, our bond grew even closer. I would like to believe that I was capable enough of looking after him during his health trials in particular. And I think that the difference between Abhishek and me and my father and me is that I don't have that wisdom that my father had. I don't have the knowledge. I don't have that compassion. I certainly don't have his personality. I know that whenever he wanted to be informal with me, he had the liberty and he knew that I would respond. And we did. Abhishek, I think he has the liberty to be informal with me whenever he wants to. We share a kind of a relationship which is more like buddies. I love the music he hears, or I love the clothes he wears. I would like to wear them. I'd like to take my shoes back that he's wearing right now. And I'd like to take my tie back. And I want to be in the company of his friends. I know it's embarrassing sometimes for him and for Jaya and say, you know, you should be doing this, you shouldn't be here. But I genuinely like it. It's not because I'm trying to hide my age or anything like that. It's just...
You enjoy it.
I love the way they talk. I use their lingo.
Oh, taught him all the new lingo?
He taught it to us.
Mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing. It's the favorite, it's the buzzword.
Yeah.
If I were to nab both your mobiles and read your SMSs to each other, what do you think I'd find?
A lot of information.
About?
A few dirty jokes.
He's
I'm
a
cool.
really cool guy. Pa and me have an ability to laugh things off.
Yeah,
Okay.
The girls don't.
I don't.
certainly not.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How can you?
You become very serious in life
Yes,
and
that's true.
really look at things straight, head on.
I think we're just more chilled out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I look forward to the time where he gets the evening off and I say, come on, Dad, I'm taking you out for dinner. He loves to get all dressed up and wear really cool clothes. And,
Which I helped him buy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And God,
Right?
God
Thank
help you if he wants to go out at night, because you'll come back day after tomorrow, after having
I believe you because
jived all night.
he looks so mellow and benign now. I mean, but he's had lots of fun and wild times when he was a bachelor
He
in Calcutta.
still does.
And I remember when you used to haunt the discos in Bombay, Mr. Bachchan.
There was only one disco.
And that was the one you used to haunt regularly.
I haunted because we didn't have the money to go in.
You were in. I used to watch you.
You know, we used to
inside.
go with a group of affluent people and just pose as though we were part of their gang,
I used to see
just
you
to get an
dancing.
entry, yes.
You were dancing, you were having fun. Actually, I wonder, in comparison, is Abhishek more reined in than you were?
More reined in or Indian?
Yeah, reined in,
Oh.
meaning have you had the kind of freedom that he had?
Yeah.
No. Have you ever jumped into the Hooghly after a party at night?
I jumped into the Ganga after shooting.
Big difference.
I was jumping into the Hooghly because I wanted to win a bet and to be able to pay my rent and to be able to have my breakfast.
Okay, after a party.
I don't think that he needs to do that.
Okay. But that kind of wild, free, spirited time that you had, Amit-ji,
I'm sure that he...
I feel Abhishek hasn't had that.
I have.
Where? What are the wild things you've done?
We'll talk about it later. I think there is this great big feeling that,
have
that
no
we
fun.
lead a very straight, disciplined, dormitory
We have
kind
a-
of existence.
we
I
have
think
a
it's totally wrong. Mind-blowing. It's not that at all.
Then
We are
what is
very
it?
free and very fun-loving people.
We're great fun.
We are great fun.
You know, people associate Bachchan with success, glories, mega stardom. But the family's been through turbulent times. In the sense, I mean, if there were peaks in your career, there were also abysses and life-threatening lows. Jaya-ji, you said that the darkest period for you was the ABCL misfortune.
It was tough. It was really tough. You know, you're that much older. You physically don't feel that much stronger.
Yeah.
You know, you feel bad. Your kids have come to a certain age where they should be enjoying the fruits of whatever their father has done. And here they were sort of faced with, I mean, constantly some kind of problem or the other.
What was it, Amit-ji? Was it that the dream and the business didn't march together?
No, I think we had a wonderful vision
Wonderful
for
dream.
the company. I think the ideas were all in place. Maybe it was a little ahead of time. And obviously, lack of management, lack of ability to understand what business is. We've never done business in our lives. My brother did. And we were just onlookers at that point of time.
But
Because
where
I
did it
would-
go wrong?
Operations, bad management.
And people took you for a ride?
I wouldn't like to place blame on anybody. If it's my company, I'll take the blame. If I chose wrong people, if people misguided me or didn't do their duty, then that's my fault.
I also think that he was too trusting, too simple, you know. I mean, that if you've given somebody a responsibility, that person is going to really work at it, honestly, sincerely.
But it didn't happen. So suddenly you were landed with a lot of liabilities
Yeah.
and creditors. How did you go through that?
Um,
How difficult is it than a physical recovery?
It's a situation like this basically has two sides, the technical side and there is the emotional side.
True.
Technical is the facts, the figures, the numbers, the creditors, the loss of money. The emotional side is the loss of face, the disgrace, the taunts of people within the industry and outside the industry, the loss of face in front of creditors, the embarrassment of having people walk into your room and ask you for their money back, the embarrassment of being a public figure and having to go out and meet the public, knowing that that they're looking at you with disdain and with question marks. It wasn't something that I hadn't been through before. I had been through before when the family was accused of misappropriation in the Bofors scandal. That too was a terrible time for the family and for all of us because we were looked upon as the biggest traitors in this country. And it's not an easy thing to live with that thought, especially if you're a public figure. You cannot hide. Your name is well known. People look up to you and suddenly the heroics that you perform on screen are come tumbling down. You're abused when you walk on the streets, and that's embarrassing. It's as embarrassing as being abused when you're making your way up as an actor. I cannot forget the moment when I was coming out of Rajkamal Studios with my parents in my very early years as an actor, and at a traffic signal, a gentleman from the street just put his head inside the window with the choicest abuses to me and my mother and my father, and said that I should give up acting and go back because I was a useless guy. These are some of the things that you grew up with and you face them. So when this situation came in my life, yes, it was extremely, extremely embarrassing because this was a problem of a different kind. I had no money. I had no assets. Whatever visible assets were there were all had been threatened to be taken away by the banks and the financial institutions who had documentation signed by me wrongfully as guarantee.
Did he sit down and explain to you what had happened?
He didn't, but we had an inkling. We didn't know how bad it was. I think it was Amar Singh Ji who actually explained, the extent.
He spoke to me about it
He didn't speak to me about it.
on numerous occasions.
No,
Yeah, but
he-
he's never
you
wanted
see-
us. He's always sheltered us, I think.
No, yes, but
He hasn't really told. I mean, every day, whenever you'd call him during that time, you'd be like, "So, Pa, how are things going?" He's just slugging. It's another day. It's another fight. He was. I don't think he lost hope, but I think he just tried to shelter us. I at least didn't know. Maybe he thought, newly married, and
No
I don't
one
want
to-
to be worried.
with my problems.
Yeah. And I'll handle it. I'm the head of the family.
But did you see that the toll it took on him was?
Yeah. But you feel helpless, actually.
Yeah, because he has to make the decisions.
He chooses to make them. He likes to do them on his own.
in times of crisis, I've noticed that my father seems to clamp up. And I think he fights best when he's alone. He's got an unbelievable amount of inner strength, which just comes to the fore. But I think as a family, he knows that we'll always be his best lieutenants. We're always there. He just has to tell us where to go stand. I told him that once, and he said, "You don't need to tell me that." But I think he took it upon himself as his problem, which as a son, I did not like. Because I wanted to help him as best I could, but he wanted to sort it out for himself. And to a certain extent, you let that be because you knew that's what he needed for his sanity, I think. And as usual, he sorted it out.
Thankfully, and by the grace of God, some very dear friends, Amar Singh Ji, who's like a younger brother to me, Sahara Shri, Subrat Roy, came into my life at a time when I didn't want somebody to Yes, of course, you need the money.
To just give you money, yeah.
But you want somebody to just
you the way.
tell you that you can do it. That's what they did. And I just decided that, much against their advice, that this is a company, this is business, these things happen. Even the largest corporate houses in India have several companies that do not succeed. And they just shut the company down,
right.
write off the liabilities, plead bankruptcy, get on with their lives.
Why didn't you do that?
My conscience did not permit me to do that. And I just felt that if I owed money or my company owed money to somebody, even if it was 1 rupee, I needed to pay him back.
So,
Made a
Amit-ji,
huge
you
difference.
decided that you would personally pay back the 80 to 90 crores that the company owed.
Yeah.
That's a big, big responsibility on you.
Yes.
It's the same way you decided to fight the Bofors allegations and
Mm-hmm.
clear your name. The same way now you wanted to clear your debts.
That's right.
I mean, I think it's quite remarkable, you know, that you should do that. So then soon after this, you decided to take on the gamble of Kaun Banega Crorepati.
Yes, television came as a surprise. It was something that the entire family disagreed with.
Who disagreed with?
Jaya, well, she said, you know, television will
I didn't.
bring your image down because it's a smaller medium.
I thought it'll just reduce his.
The persona.
Yeah.
And what about you, Shweta? You didn't
I didn't
want
want him to do television.
Initially, I was dead against it.
All of you were dead against it.
Yeah.
And still you did it.
I really had no choice. My circumstances were such that, you know, if somebody had asked me to clean the floor to earn the money, I would have done that.
It was that bad, Amit-ji?
Yeah.
It was dire. It was a dire need.
Yes, yes.
My God. I mean, people can't believe this. So you took this on basically to solve your financial problems
Yes.
initially.
Yeah.
And then later when you saw KBC, what did you feel?
Once he showed us the reason behind doing it, to him, and he showed us the original, which is Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, and we all loved it. And then to see the audience react to it was even better.
So then later on, did you feel, Jaya-ji, that it was the right thing?
No.
Well, it
No.
was not the right thing.
Well, he needed to do it. He spoke with us, and I mean, for me, it was like supporting and standing by him.
Whatever he chooses to do.
Yes, yes.
But you still don't think, after seeing KBC and the effect it
No,
had?
I mean, it was wonderful. It had, it of course was, but you know, if KBC had carried on endlessly, then I would have said, yes, there's something to it. I mean, you know. But I was very disappointed when they stopped it. If it had carried on, then I would have said, yes, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. But the longevity was
But it's
limited.
not, look at it, it became a cult, a national cult.
Yes.
It formed its own language. I don't think anything else had so much impact on the nation like Kaun Banega Crorepati. You didn't feel that, Shweta?
Yeah.
You must have seen the response in Delhi and everywhere.
Definitely. I was very proud. Because I just felt every day, every show, it was just, you know, his way of fighting back. People had been so nasty and during our whole ABCR crisis, and so many people abandoned us. And I felt that every single episode was like a slap on their faces. The response, the adulation, I mean, I'd go and, you know, little children would say, oh, we love the show. And I was just very happy.
People abandoned you.
They do when times are bad. People write nasty things, they say nasty
They
things.
wrote things.
And I think, I mean, everyone makes mistakes, everyone can't be perfect. You know, and as Papa said, the big companies that go bust and they, you know, they never think about it twice. And I just felt it was unfair that he was being victimized just because of who he was. It was twice as bad. You know, here's a person who feels so responsible for, you know, mismanaging or whatever happened. And you make him out to be like, you know, the worst person in the country. And maybe I felt it more because I wasn't with them. But for me, it gave me immense pleasure, and I was very proud, and I was very happy. Because he proved everybody wrong. He's 60. Who does that today?
Touch wood, God bless.
Touch wood.
वेलकम, गुड इवनिंग, नमस्कार, आदाब, सत श्री अकाल। मैं अमिताभ बच्चन आज इस विशेष संध्या पर पेश करने जा रहा हूं कौन बनेगा करोड़पति। थैंक यू। तो दिव्या जी, नर्वस?
थोड़ा बहुत, यस।
थोड़ा बहुत नर्वस
थोड़ा बहुत।
होना चाहिए। मैं भी थोड़ा बहुत नर्वस हूं। 1 करोड़ रुपए का चेक इलाहाबाद, हमारे ही गांव से। अगला प्रश्न 25 लाख रुपए के लिए। देवी और सज्जनों, प्लीज रीड माय लिप्स। कॉन्फिडेंट? लेडीज एंड जेंटलमैन, 50 लाख रुपीस। लॉक कर दूं इसे? फिल्में देखती हैं आप?
आपकी पिक्चरें सबसे
आज तक भारतीय टेलीविजन में इतनी भारी रकम कोई नहीं जीता है। 15वां प्रश्न 1 करोड़ रुपए के लिए।
एक बात कहना चाहूंगा आपसे।
जी अवश्य कहें।
सर, आपसे इश्क हो गया।
कोई समय की पाबंदी नहीं है, अपना समय लीजिए इत्मीनान से। ऐसा चमत्कार यहीं हो सकता है।
With KBC, with time, things changed. You reached the peak again. Now there was the star of the millennium, Madame Tussauds, temples in your name. It seemed better than the first time around. How was this success different to the first success of Sanjeev?
I've never looked at success in this manner. I have always believed that it's another day and another occasion. Success is very momentary. It's nothing great, it's no big deal. And I genuinely mean it. I'm not trying to be, just modest about it. I just want to say that, yes, if there is no struggle in life, there is no life. And if you think that I've solved all my problems till the moment I die, it's the biggest fallacy, because I know tomorrow everything can go wrong again, and I could be back where I was or in the dumps again. I think it's that fear that drives most individuals. I would like to believe that all these so-called trials that came in my life have been great educators for me. I have learned tremendously from them. I would have been an ignorant fool had this not happened to me. And I'm really, really happy that it did, because I'm much, much stronger individually. I have the capacity now to take my own decisions, financial decisions, which have always been a curse, which have always been a problem with me. And I may be still making the worst financial decisions, but I'm happy about the fact that they're mine and not somebody else's. I'm happy about the fact that I can think ahead. I'm happy about the fact that I really feel for the first time in my life that I am in control. And that is a wonderful feeling, even if it's coming at age 61.
Whenever. Jaya-ji, you tell me, how different has this success been?
Well, I think this was, to me, it was like a poetic justice.
Well, another battle won.